This is News at 10. You are joining me, Shuhaida Arifin, making our headlines for tonight. The country's economy must be expedited to prevent from falling behind. Number of flood evacuees continue to rise in Terima. Malaysia's transition from the pandemic to endemic phase of COVID-19 needs to be implemented carefully. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah said Malaysia was ranked 13th out of 122 countries in the Nikkei Asia's COVID-19 Recovery Index. As a defensive measure against the threats of new coronavirus variants, His Majesty urged all Malaysians to get boosted dose of COVID-19 vaccine.
Walaupun negara kini semakin bersedia untuk beralih ke fasa endemik, Berita berharap agar peralihan ini dilaksanakan secara berhati-hati. Berita menyokong strategi pengujian COVID-19 kebangsaan dan tindakan afirmatif kerajaan untuk mengurangkan harga kit ujian kendiri sebagai langkah pengukuhan tindakan kesihatan awam dan permekasaan komuniti.
His Majesty also expressed his appreciation for the National Vaccine Development Roadmap (PPVN), including the strategy to develop Malaysia's very own vaccine as an effort to increase the country's level of preparedness in facing the current pandemic and other pandemic threats in the future. On natural disasters, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong also urged for disaster management mechanisms to constantly be upgraded to face any threats due to environmental degradation and climate change. The King said this will involve cross-social roles and responsibilities among the government, private sector, civil society organizations and volunteers. Elaborating further, Sultan Abdullah said coordination between the federal and state government as well as local authorities should be carried out constantly, and the development of a centralized disaster warning system and improvement of drainage systems, especially in densely populated and disaster-prone areas, must be intensified.
Langkah penyelesaian jangka pendek dan jangka panjang termasuk kesiapsiagaan infrastruktur tempatan banjir seperti yang diputuskan dalam mesyuarat jawatankuasa pengurusan bencana pusat hendaklah segera dilaksanakan.
Sultan Abdullah added that environmental protection and sustainability must be prioritized, and the government should maintain at least 50% of the country's landmass under forest cover, besides maintaining and preserving areas potentially recognized as geoparks. On another note, Sultan Abdullah said the country's economic recovery must be expedited so that Malaysia does not lag behind. His Majesty advised members of Parliament to help and facilitate the people's affairs to rebuild life with a sense of security, peace and prosperity for the sake of the country.
Melangkah ke hadapan, Berita menyeru pada sekalian ahli-ahli yang berhormat untuk terus mengekalkan kesefahaman yang telah terbina dan juga memelihara kestabilan politik yang telah tercapai.
Sultan Abdullah also said that the Malaysian economy is projected to continue to grow strongly with gross domestic product GDP of between 5.5 and 6.5% in 2022.
Pemulihan pertumbuhan ekonomi menunjukkan keberkesanan 8 siri pakej bantuan dan rangsangan ekonomi pada tahun 2020 dan 2021 yang keseluruhannya berjumlah 530 bilion ringgit selain peruntukan bajet tahunan yang telah disediakan.
His Majesty also expressed his congratulations to the government on its success in providing a total of 558,633 job placement to the rakyat compared to the target of 500,000 in 2021. The King noted that for 2022, under the Jamin Kerja Keluarga Malaysia initiative, the government has targeted the provision of almost 600,000 job opportunities. 9 Malaysians and their 2 dependents who were evacuated from Kiev in Ukraine to Poland are now on their way to Kuala Lumpur and are expected to arrive tomorrow. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob in his Facebook post said a Singaporean national was also evacuated along with the Malaysian convoy. Commenting further on the matter, the Premier also acknowledged the Singaporean High Commission's appreciation and gratitude for the assistance rendered by Malaysian in helping the Singaporean citizen to evacuate from Kiev. He said the Malaysian government always cherished the close ties between the 2 countries and called on the Republic to work together as an ASEAN family. He added that it is important for all parties involved to work together as an ASEAN family. Yesterday, Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Abdullah in his tweet said the Malaysian convoy was led by Charge d'Affaires ad interim of the Malaysian Embassy in Ukraine, Fadilah Daud. Prior to that, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri was reported as saying that the Embassy of Malaysia in Kiev was currently undertaking the evacuation of the remaining Malaysian nationals from the conflict-stricken country. The Russia-Ukraine conflict will definitely affect efforts to speed up the global economic recovery, including that of Malaysia. Senior Minister of International Trade and Industry, Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali said any conflict would definitely hurt the global economy and would not help any country to move towards a positive economic growth. Datuk Seri Azmin said the reconciliation was important as Russia was not only one of the important economic powers for Malaysia, but also that of other countries that were still in the process of recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Rusia masih merupakan kuasa ekonomi yang penting untuk Malaysia. Kita ada hubungan perdagangan dan juga people to people, termasuk dalam bidang pendidikan. Ramai pelajar-pelajar kita yang berada di Rusia untuk menjalani bidang perubatan selama beberapa tahun. Kita juga terlibat dalam beberapa industri sektor aeroangkasa.
On the country's trade target of 2 trillion ringgit by 2022, Datuk Seri Azmin said as a trading nation, Malaysia needed to find a solution or other more proactive efforts to ward off the effects of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Among the efforts taken by Malaysia is to become a member of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, RCEP, officially on 18 March 2022. This step will provide space and opportunities for local industry players, including micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, to market their products and services among RCEP members. The number of flood victims in Terengganu continued to rise to over 14,000 people as of 6 p.m. today. 3,888 families are currently seeking shelters at 159 active temporary relief centres PPS in the state. A report by the Secretariat of Terengganu Disaster Management Committee noted that Kemaman has seen an increase of evacuees with over 4,420 residents compared to 3,857 in the afternoon. The number of residents evacuated to PPS in each districts affected in the state as of 6 p.m. today stood at 3,696 in Hulu Terengganu, 622 in Besut, 999 evacuees in Dungon, 1,291 in Setiu, 622 in Kuala Terengganu, 347 in Kuala Nerus, and 5 in Marang. According to Drainage and Irrigation Department's Public Info Banjir website, water levels at 5 rivers in the affected districts have passed the danger mark and continued to show rising trend. Over in Kelantan, improving weather condition throughout the day has enabled more residents to return to their home this afternoon. The number of people seeking refuge at PPS in the state declined to 7,921 compared to 8,394 this afternoon. As of 4 p.m., 51 PPS are still operating in the affected districts, namely Pasir Mas, Kuala Krai, Tanah Merah, Pasir Putih, Machang and Jeli. Pasir Mas continues to record the highest number of evacuees with 5,664, followed by Kuala Krai, 882 and 519 in Tanah Merah. For Pasir Putih and Machang, the number of residents in PPS remained at 286 and 230 respectively. Coming up, police haul over 10 million ringgit worth of drugs. Stay tuned. Johor is expecting over 200,000 postal votes from Johorians currently residing in Singapore. Its Menteri Besar Datuk Hasni Muhammad said postal votes is the best choice for them to perform their duty as Malaysians after considering the restraints due to COVID-19 pandemic.
During this state election, what we have request is that the postal vote is allowed, even though they are not allowed to vote at our embassy in Singapore. But then again, voting through post is something that we have. I suppose that is one of the way to provide opportunity for our Malaysian, which is still in Singapore.
The Election Commission will send the ballot paper to Singapore after the name of candidates contesting in Johor State Poll is finalised. Police have seized over 10.33 million ringgit worth of drugs following a series of raids conducted between 23rd and 25th February at 125 Felda settlements and 222 People's Housing Project for the hardcore poor. Bukit Aman Narcotic Crime Investigation Department NCID Director Dato' Ayub Khan Maidin Piche said a total of 745.93 kilogram and 283.6 litres of various drugs as well as ganja plant were seized under Ops Tapis Khas. Aside from the drug pushes, police also arrested 3,512 men and 156 women aged between 14 and 60 for various drugs offences, including 1,850 drug addicts and 185 wanted persons.
Dalam kategori suspek-suspek yang ditangkap ini, 572 adalah tokan, 1,850 adalah penagih dan 185 adalah wanted person yang dikenaki. Kesemua suspek ini ditangkap di bawah disiasat di bawah pelbagai seksyen termasuk 39B, 39A, 6B, 39A bracket 1, 39C dan lain-lain seksyen tuan-tuan. Dan jumlah tangkapan yang kita buat tuan-tuan di bawah seksyen 39B adalah seramai 164 orang. Di bawah seksyen 39A bracket 2 110. Di bawah seksyen 39A bracket 1 295. Di bawah seksyen 39C 246.
Dato' Ayub Khan said police also seized a fake pistol and firearms, including one shotgun and 17 bullets in Selama, Perak, while another shotgun and an air rifle with 18 bullets were seized in Lawas, Sabah. In addition, a total of 159,786 ringgit in cash, 18,846 ringgit worth of jewellery, 22 cars worth 553,200 ringgit, 52 motorcycles worth 276,600 ringgit and a 700 ringgit helmet were also confiscated during the raids. Applications for the 2022 financial assistance with an allocation of 85 million ringgit for more than 20,000 tourist operators registered under the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture MOTAC will be open from tomorrow until 15th March. According to MOTAC, this year's financial assistance showed the government's commitment to help ease the burden of the tourism sector practitioners who were badly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Companies operating travel, operating business and travel, TOB, and Malaysia My Second Home, MM2H, would be paid 9,000 ringgit. SPA operators and food massage centres, 3,000 ringgit, tourist drivers, 1,500 ringgit, and homestay operators, 1,800 ringgit. In a statement, MOTAC said the payments will be distributed in 2 stages, which are in March and May this year. Last year, the government through MOTAC had channeled financial aid amounting to 61 million ringgit to benefit almost 30,000 tourism industry practitioners. For more information on the financial assistance, applicants can surf MOTAC's official website at www.motac.gov.my. The Human Resources Ministry has proposed the implementation of e-wages as a salary monitoring system for foreign workers. Its Minister Datuk Seri M. Saravanan said, as a member of the International Labour Organization ILO, Malaysia strictly observed its 11 indicators on forced labours, which also covered the aspect of conducive living conditions for workers. In a statement released today, Datuk Seri Saravanan said the ministry has made it compulsory for employers to fully comply with the Standard Minimum of Housing and Amenities Act 1990. Act 446 as a mandatory requirement to employ foreign workers. He said that his ministry was in the process of concluding the Memorandum of Understanding MOU on Indonesian domestic workers after getting the official nod from the Cabinet on 23rd February. He also said that the MOUs with Vietnam, Cambodia, India and Sri Lanka are currently in final stages of discussions, all of which have lapsed during the implementation of the Movement Control Order MCO in the country due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The minister added that so far the ministry has concluded and signed MOUs with 10 source countries and is in the midst of finalizing the MOUs that have expired. The Malaysian Army today received 6 MD-530G light scout attack helicopters to boost its readiness and capabilities. Army Chief General Tan Sri Zamrus Muhammad Zain said all the helicopters would be equipped with 7.62mm mm Gatling gun, 12.7 mm heavy machine gun and 70 mm rockets. Tan Sri Zamrus said the helicopters would be able to attack and destroy light armoured vehicles and enemies at a range of 500 meters to 7 kilometers, other than having the agility to perform air reconnaissance. He also said that 3 of the helicopters would be stationed in the Eastern Sabah Security Command (ASCOM) and the rest in Kluang, Johor. The Army Chief noted that before being allowed to operate, the helicopters must undergo several inspections, such as by the Directorate General Technical Airworthiness and final inspection by the Army through the Final Acceptance Test FAT team. He said a final inspection certificate would be issued and signed by the representatives of the company together with the FAT team after the team confirmed that the 6 helicopters had passed the final inspection. The MD-530G helicopters, supplied by Syarikat Halaman Optima Sendirian Berhad through Syarikat Destiny Prima Sendirian Berhad, were made by MD Helicopter Incorporated, MDHI, based in the United States. They arrived in Port Klang on 21st February from the Oakland Harbour, USA. He added that the procurement contract also included training programs for 8 pilots and 9 technicians of the Malaysian Army Aviation Branch. And with that, we reach the end of tonight's news at 10. Our headline for today: economic recovery must be expedited to prevent Malaysia from lagging behind to help rebuild life. Don't forget to tune in to updates at noon for the latest news available on TV2 and saluran Berita RTM. You can also watch it on the go on RTM Clicks website and mobile app. I'm Syahada Arifin. Good night and thank you for watching.